Good afternoon, everybody. It is the 6th, February the 6th, and I just wanted to do a post-market recap of today's price action. So there's some real nuggets in here, so do stay to the end so you can catch it all. But first I just wanted to start with where we sort of ran to at 10:30. So this formed on the hourly, and it was the consequential encroachment of this 1 hour fair value gap, right? So 50% of that. We also had this breaker which formed here, and it hit that to a tick. And then we are looking for then signs of reversal, with it also being at 50% equilibrium of this range. So not an amazing discount, but a discount nonetheless, right? So what are we looking for when price gets down to that level? Well, there could be a multitude of reversal patterns to look out for, but this one that happened today was what's called a reclaimed order block, and it is one of my favourites. So this price action here you should note down because it's so strong and it repeats itself quite a lot when we are at price as at our low, right? So it's on. This is a reversal sign. This is a market maker's buy model for a reversal, right? So we have this order block here, these 3 down candles. Then we have price offered down on the sell side, and then it's offered back on the buy side. At this point here, the order block is reclaimed. It's rebalanced, right? So we are then looking to take price long. The entry, it can either be off equilibrium of this order block, or off the top of this order block, these 3 before the leg down, right? Before price is offered on the sell side. And then we target the relative equal highs, or we can target the weekly high, or we can even target the weekly gap fill, which I mentioned in my pre-market review, right? So one of the best things about reclaimed order blocks, and this is an absolute nugget here, when we break away, it will usually leave an order block, okay? In fact, 9 times out of 10, it will leave an order block. The price will, later in the day, come back and retest this order block, and you take your entry off this later in the day if you missed the initial entry, right? So if we head through until the lunch hour, what does lunch do? It comes down literally to a T to this order block, it retraces away and then comes back and then hits consequential encroachment once more for a price leg away, right? I can show you the trades I took, and I was super confident in this setup, and I was initially targeting these equal highs here, but I ended up taking my trades out at when we broke the midnight opening price, right? So price came down at lunch, just at 1:10. We took out the lunch lows and formed a rejection block, and then later price came back, filled that out, and then price ran up later. So I was in this trade actually for 3 hours, right? And I was bullish throughout the whole time. So I'll just drag across the trades I took. Bear with me 1 second. So these. So if we look here, this is my. Go back to my this is where I scaled out. So my first entry was here, was at 41.27, right? So I took an entry here, and then I parlayed in, right? So I took another one at 41.23, and I took another one at 41.22, and then I rode the price up and got out at my final at 41.31, right? So that was my trade for the post-lunch session. And then later we had this, I was looking at this breaker block, and this was my line in the sand. So those who are in my Discord, and for those who were watching me live, I had this breaker block as a line in the sand, right? And this was formed in the pre-market. And if price broke below it, then I saw this as bearish. If it stayed above it, then I was bullish, right? And what did price do on the 3:30? It came down and filled that breaker block literally to a tick, and price reacted aggressively away. So what did I do? I took my entry off this order block on the retest, and I got out on when this actually retraced. I got a little bit ahead of myself. I wanted a weekly gap fill, but I was trailing my stop quite tightly. So when it pulled back from this level here, it stopped me out. So my second trade, if I bring that up again, this is all ES. Was here, right? So I got in on the retest of that order block, and I got out at 41.20.25. So that was another little 4 handles, right? So all in all, nice day. It took about 13 handles or something in total, yeah, that sums up my trades. But yeah, so just to recap on what we had. So we had this reclaimed order block which formed on the low out of consequential encroachment on the fair value gap on the 1 hour. We had this this market maker reversal pattern, this buy model. And we had an entry here off the order block initially to target these highs. If we missed that, we could have waited for price to come back and retest this order block, and then we had another fall back into consequential encroachment. After lunch, we had a sweep of those lows, and we had a 1 minute rejection block. Rejection block is when a wick wicks through previous liquidity, and then price will come back later and test the consequential encroachment of that wick, right? So that could have been another entry for you. I wasn't around at that time, so I didn't take it. I was just letting my trades run. And I got out up here. And then later on in the day, we had this breaker which formed, and a MIT block which formed. And I'll do a series on all these individual elements. But price moved down into the breaker block, which was formed pre-market, and then moved away again. And you could have scaled this on the way up, right? So that is my review of today's session. I hope you found it useful. As always, if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments below, or head over to my Twitter and catch me there. If not, let me know if you want my Discord and you can watch me trade live. So yeah, until next time, catch you soon. Cheers, bye.